we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun.
This day was a much slower start than my first few days in Kyoto. I'd originally planned to start the day at the crack of dawn so that I could head to Osaka and beat the crowds at Super Nintendo World. But I saw that the weather forecast called for rain and cold most of the morning and made the executive decision to sleep in, grab some breakfast, and just skip it all together. I love walking around Kyoto during the quiet mornings. Very few people are out and it just felt so serene. Walking around and exploring just felt like letting out a large breath of air I didn't even realize I was holding in. This area of Kyoto has a lot of restaurants and bars that are bustling. They run along the Kamogawa River, and the draw for them is the range of food options and the views of the river. Apparently, some of the places there can be really hard to get into because of the views. So if you see a restaurant there, just take note of that and if you need reservations. I came across this particular restaurant a couple days ago as I was wandering past the river. They do take reservations, but I figured I would just chance it by showing up extra early. Note, in Japan, extra early means before they even open, sometimes even an hour before they open. I think I arrived about 30 minutes before they opened, which I didn't mind because it was such a charming area. I would say if you're going to any place that is popular online in any way, or is well known at all, plan to arrive early. And if you see a random line and you have the time, consider waiting it to see what the draw is. You never know. Kacto was super warm and easy. I sat on the side not facing the river, which I didn't mind. I still enjoyed the bright and airy feel of it all. Also, please enjoy watching me spill tea all over the table and attempt to take this aesthetic video. Osaka Aquarium is a fun time. The area as a whole is geared towards kids, so next to it is a small shopping center. There's also a Legoland and the Templeton Ferris wheel. I think it's good for the whole family as well as just random adults like me. So this aquarium is the largest aquarium in Japan and one of the largest public aquariums in the world. The biggest attraction they have is probably the 2 whale sharks that are in their main tank. But I think a lot of the exhibits are still super fun to look at. As you're walking through the aquarium, you're following this single path. So in front of every exhibit, there's a little bit of a crowd. You just have to wait until the crowd thins out a bit and find a spot to look. I generally didn't find I was waiting that long, like maybe 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how many people were there. Also keep in mind, there were a bunch of kids, so I could just see over them anyway. Once you hit the main tank, the crowd thins out. This exhibit spans several floors, so if you feel like you can't see or there's a crowd in one specific spot, you can just keep walking. So I got to circle around the tank and see every angle basically, and also see all the sea life. I think the aquarium also did a good job ending the tour with quieter, calmer areas like the jellyfish and the coral. I highly recommend the aquarium, whether you have kids or not. You can also buy tickets in advance, though I did not. I just bought them on the spot online and had no trouble at all. Unpopular opinion, but I was not a fan of Dotonbori. Maybe it was a chill and the rain in the air, maybe it was the crowds and the overstimulation. It just didn't feel like a place for me. This is probably the dirtiest area I saw in Japan, which makes sense considering the amount of people, tourists specifically, that must make their way through here. Dotonbori is known for its food culture, but I just didn't find it an ideal place to go on a food tour. I will say the takoyaki I grabbed here had to be some of the best I've ever tasted, even with the overwhelming atmosphere. I'll say if you're trying to decide if you want to add it to your itinerary or not, a good way to decide is if you like New York City, the tourist version of New York City, then this area will speak to you too. I ended up spending the rest of my time in Osaka at the WAD Cafe. I'd actually stopped by earlier in the day and ended up waiting 10 minutes at the back door before realizing I needed to leave my name for a reservation and come back. I love this place. The cafe focuses a lot on ceramics and has an accompanying gallery space in the building to display the work of contemporary ceramic artists. This was such a common close to a pretty active day. It was the closest I came to a tea ceremony in Japan. They describe themselves as a place that conveys the spirit of the tea ceremony, and I really got that feeling as I was there. The cafe itself also serves to display a lot of those ceramics, and you're even able to choose which one you want to use depending on which tea you order. The snacks leaned into traditional Japanese flavors, and the staff took a ton of care into making and serving the tea. This cafe was a great place to escape the rain. It felt like I was ending the day the way it started. Slow, intentional, and just enjoying the feeling of being alive. Which sounds weird, but I think that's as best as I can put it. It was just nice to sit down and relax and just be in the moment.